Alright, I've been holding back Q&A 99 enough. It's time to let the pigeons loose, as Taz used to say, and start doing this Q&A again. Because, damn it, we're almost at 100. And I want to do that hour-long Iron Man Q&A for you guys. So let's get started with Q&A 99. We kick off the Q&A with Wolverine asking, how would you react if I won the next Royal Rumble? Hashtag Q&A. Well, Wolverine, I would actually be supportive of you winning the Royal Rumble because you would be a new star and you're a legit badass that is short that I can take seriously. I mean, think about it. Wolverine would be the perfect dude in professional wrestling. Casual fans would take him seriously because he's a total badass, and the IWC would love him because he's under 5'8", and Wolverine's moveset would mostly be kicks and punches and flippy flips. So Wolverine, you would be like the perfect wrestler if there ever was one, adapted into real life form. Snowdrop asks, Trevor, Michael, or Franklin? Michael. Michael's my favorite character from GTA 5. Trevor, I can see why people like him and see that he's funny. He's funny sometimes, but he's just not fun to play as. I feel like Trevor's very slow and he dies a little bit easier. And I hate switching his character because his character ends up being in different places that I don't like, where it's just like, oh my god, why are you being chased by the cops? Why are you drunk wearing a dress in this one area? Why are you doing this? So I hate just Trevor for that. And Franklin, he's just boring. He's not fun. Michael has the best story in GTA 5 to me personally, and he's a character I can relate to the most. The Fake Garbage Man asks, who has the best name in your Q&As out of these people? Snowdrop, Slapnuts 2000, or Ultimate WWE Apologist? Slapnuts 2000. Because every time I get to his name, you guys notice, like, I'll be talking normally in my voice for Q&A. I'll just talk in a normal voice, and then I get to Slapnuts 2000, and I just add an extra emphasis. I mean, I like Snowdrop. Don't get me wrong. It's a nice name, Snowdrop. Don't get mad at me because I didn't choose you. Ultimate WWE Apologist. That's just, like, the funniest name I've seen on here. And his questions are very, very nice and very, very positive in this terrible negative day of era of professional wrestling, I should say. Cody Melton asked for Q&A, if you were the boss of the WWE, who would your title holders be, and who would you bring any titles back? Oh, okay. Yeah, I would bring back a title. I would say, goodbye, U.S. Championship. We have no use for you whatsoever. Let's bring back the European Championship. I like the design of that belt. And I really think the European title works out pretty damn well, especially because, you know, WWE is such, like, you know, a global phenomenon, as Vince McMahon likes to call it. And they have a lot of UK tours. So why not have, you know, like the European title? You know, you could main event a Raw with the European title. But if I was the boss of the WWE, who would be my champions? WWE Heavyweight Champions, not even a question. It's Randall Keith Orton. The Intercontinental Champion would be Cody Rhodes. My European Champion would be Seth Rollins. And my World Tag Team Champions would be the Bro Lovers and Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, a.k.a. Cockfist. So those would be my champions. And how would I book all that? We'll ask a question in the future Q&As, and maybe I would tell you how I'd book all that. World Herald asked, my boy. World Herald Q&A. World Herald question. What if Roman Reigns got accidentally eliminated in the Royal Rumble match? Asked by World Herald. Oh, man. What would WWE... Let's just say Roman Reigns was a complete klutz, and he eliminated himself when he was trying to eliminate Big Show and Kane. You're left with Big Show, Kane, and Rusev. Oh, my... I think the WWE would shit themselves. I think Vince McMahon would be having a gasket. They would probably have to take him to the hospital because he would have a heart attack. He'd be like, ah, damn it, piece of shit, Roman Reigns, ah. And then you just go to the damn hospital because you'd be upset. If that were the case with those three left, I think Rusev would win, and they would call an audible, and they would have John Cena win the title somehow, and they'll say, like, Brock, you'll just go put over Roman, because I don't think Brock gives a shit how he's booked. That's just me personally. I don't think Brock really cares how he's booked. I think he's just there for the paycheck, and he gets paid the same amount no matter what he is or what he does on the card. So, yeah, so I think they would just flip the belt to Cena and have Rusev win the Royal Rumble and have Rusev challenge John Cena, which would make sense. I mean, you would give a heel Royal Rumble win. Diamantio asks, Carnage or Venom, who do you think is better? What about Toxin? Where's Toxin's love, Diamantio? I mean, it's the freaking son of freaking Carnage and Venom. Like, where's Toxin's love? Who do I think is better? Well, the most strongest is Carnage. But I think Venom is overall better because he's a character that you can kind of relate to. He's a character that is interesting. You know, he's a character that has different people that have at once wore the Venom suit and have become better or worse people because of it. So I would have to say Venom. Stephen Bradley asks Q&A, can you give me a shout out and who should go over in the Taker Wyatt potential feud? Check out Piznik64 here on YouTube and follow Stephen Bradley at Piznik64. Who should go over a Taker and Wyatt potential feud? At this point, I don't really care. I'm being dead honest here. I don't care who goes over in that feud. You know, I guess the person inside of me, if I always bark that younger talent need to go over, then I guess Bray Wyatt. But personally, I like Undertaker a lot. I particularly am not that big of a Bray Wyatt fan. That's just me personally. And, you know, Taker has, you know, been part of my childhood and brought me so many years of entertainment that I would love to see him win. You know, that's just me. But hell, you know, I come on this channel, I say you need to push the younger stars, so Bray Wyatt would have to go over there. But I probably wouldn't care if he did or not because really Undertaker is not really in the best shape anymore. And if you're going to end the streak, he shouldn't appear anymore. That's just me. That's just how I feel. It makes the Undertaker character more badass, more legit, where it's just like, you know, he's done. He doesn't need to show up anymore. He's done his due. He's paid his dues. Diamond and Spoon asked, and that's another thing. Who asked a question? I think it was Fake Garbage Man that asked a question. Diamond and Spoon's a good Q&A name. Like, I'm surprised you didn't put his or her name down there. But he or she asked, how would the IWC react if CM Punk came back with the Brodus Clay gimmick, acting like Brodus Clay in every way? CM Punk. You know what's funny is, at first they would be pissed off. They'll sit there and be like, see, I do it. The WWE, they don't care about us. No, this is what they do to our favorite wrestlers. Not watching, not gonna love it. But CM Punk, being the entertainer that he is, and knowing that he can make anything that's shit into golden to the IWC lovers, they will love it in about a week. So after CM Punk comes out doing somebody call my mama straight edge, somebody call my mama straight edge, doing all that stuff, people will be doing that dance, people will love it, saying CM Punk should be world champion. So they would be pissed off at first, but they will end up loving it out in the end. Nicolas Cage, the fake one, asks, how did it get burned? How did what get burned? I don't know what you're asking, man. Maybe there's a part of your question missing. And Larry Royalty asks, do you think Seth Rollins' push is going to stop since his nude scandal? Oh. That's the power of editing, folks. You can get rid of conversations that you don't want. Anyways, let's get back to the question asking about Seth Rollins' push is going to be stopped because of his tiny penis. No. I mean, he's your number one, number two heel in the company. It'd be kind of stupid to stop pushing him just because he had a nude picture. I mean, I get it. He's the one who took it, and it's his fault for it having it, you know, leaked onto the internet. Yeah, it's his fault. But at the end of the day, you know, Seth Rollins fucked up. But I don't think he should be ultimately punished where he shouldn't be pushed anymore or shouldn't be a featured guy on television. That would just be stupid, and that would just be a waste of 8 months. That's just pretty much it, because you've been building this guy as your ultimate villain. That's what the WWE, at least to me, has been doing it. You know, since the Shield breakup, giving him the Money in the Bank, and now leading up to WrestleMania where he could possibly walk out as WWE Champion. You've been building this guy up to become your, like, number one heel of the company, to become, you know, your next big heel, to become a big star for this company. So why in the blue hell would you throw that all away just because he's like, oh, let me take a picture of my fucking dick? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's stupid that he's taking nude pictures of himself. I don't understand why people do it. I just think it's the dumbest thing in the world. I don't know why you need naked pictures on your phone when you can look at yourself naked in a mirror before you go into the shower. But hey, some people are weird like that. So it's just that, to me personally, I don't think Seth Rollins' push should be hurt because of the naked pictures. But then again, I am thinking of this too rationally. I'm not thinking of it the WWE way. And if I'm thinking of the WWE way, his push is going to get fucked up. Which means he probably will fail to cash in instead of successfully cashing in like he should. He's probably going to be dwindling in the mid-card during the summertime and then turn babyface for no reason, just because the fans feel bad that Seth Rollins got screwed over so bad. So there you go. I was thinking it really logically, saying, oh, they're building up to be the number one villain. But, you know, the WWE, they like to do their things their own way. A question for you in the Q&A asks Limit Shocker. which belongs in the Tito Ortiz who the fuck is this guy Hall of Who the fuck is this guy Hall of Fame? I love it. It should be no one gives a shit Hall of Fame, buddy, but who the fuck is this guy works to? It's the two entries are for this who the fuck is this guy Hall of Fame? Haku entering the 2001 Royal Rumble. And JR said it like a champ. It's Haku! Haku! And I think Kane even threw a Kane scream. He went, ah! Oh no, Kane wasn't around. It was Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was all trying to hype up Haku. I can't remember. I haven't seen that Rumble, but I do remember Haku coming out. No one caring. Or Grandmaster Sexy returning to embarrass Jerry to Kane when Kane doesn't even remember who the fuck he is either. Alright, Haku wins by default just because the Grandmaster Sexy theme, that shit was scripted. Jerry the King knows who Grandmaster Sexy is. That's his fucking son. He's playing a joke with him. But definitely Haku. Because, you know, Haku, he's well respected among many of the wrestlers. Like, if you ever hear wrestlers on a podcast, they talk about, yeah, one of the toughest guys in the industry is Haku. That guy will fuck you up. I mean, he's well respected in the wrestling industry. But when it comes down to mainstream and everything like that, I don't think many fans know who Haku is. I think me just saying the name Haku, people are doing the Tito Ortiz, and they're saying to themselves, who the fuck is Haku? So definitely Haku is definitely a member of the 2015 Who the Fuck Is This Guy, or the / No One Gives a Shit Hall of Fame. Oh, God. RFV089 asks, Dear Mr. Oliver, with all the social and economic issues that America faces today, probably the most important question that has been left unanswered, which I would like you to weigh in. Oh, okay, we're talking politics on here. I have no problem with that. Is, has Triple H's nose ever gotten Stephanie's boot? Start off with a good swerve there, man. That wasn't a Russo swerve. That was a fucking Vince swerve. Has Triple H's nose ever got stuck in Stephanie's Putin? Yes, it has multiple times. They have to call the doctor to bring it out. They have to call the plumber actually to pull that up. They have to get one of those little plungy things and just freaking force it out of there. Fucking good shit. Bill Bradford asks, what do you think of Eli Manning not wanting to get drafted to the Chargers, and are you happy you got Phillip Rivers, or would you rather have Eli? Fuck Eli. You know, would I want Eli Manning more? No, not really. Yeah, Eli has 2 Super Bowl rings, but keep in mind the Giants' defense both of those years were actually pretty damn solid on the defensive line. You know, yes, Eli Manning made some really, really clutch throws, but I'm sorry, that David Tyree catch, that's like the catch from the heavens. That was like God just pissed off at Bill Belichick. It was like, you know what, Bill? You've done some nasty-ass things. Let me have David fucking Tyree catch this ball out of nowhere. So, I like Rivers more than Eli. I always have, always will. So I'm fine with my quarterback. Yes, Eli has 2 Super Bowl rings. Rivers has none, and I totally understand that. But put it this way: if Rivers was on the Giants, Eli was on the Chargers, those 2 Super Bowls could easily be Phillip Rivers' Super Bowls. Hell, Phillip Rivers could probably have 3 Super Bowls with the New York Football Giants, and Eli Manning could be with the Chargers having 0. I don't think Eli Manning would have gotten the best out of the LaDainian Tomlinson team that Phillip Rivers had under his wing. That's just me personally. I think Eli would have made more mistakes than Phillip Rivers, especially because Rivers, keep in mind, Rivers early on in his career, he wasn't making as much mistakes as Eli Manning was. Eli Manning was just like a turnover machine. So really, to be honest here, I am fine with Phillip Rivers, and Eli Manning, fuck him. I don't know why you don't want to come to San Diego. I mean, you lived in the South your whole life, and now you're going to get drafted to a nice sunny place where the beaches are good and the women look good, but you want to go to freaking somewhere else where it's cold. What's your problem? Seriously. Stupid Archie Manning. That's another reason why I hate the Mannings. They're just such selfish people. The world revolves around them. They deserve whatever the fuck they want. Oh, Peyton Manning told all the NFC teams, you cannot sign me because I don't want to face Eli. Like, what a bitch. I'm sorry. I can make a whole video about how much I hate the Mannings. Jack DeLeo asks, how would you book Rusev following his feud with Cena? Personally, I feel like there's nowhere for him to go, regardless if he beats Cena. If he goes after the WWE title, regardless if he beats Cena or not, I doubt WWE are behind him enough to put the title on him before Reigns or Rollins, which means if he has to put into a title picture and didn't win it, he would end up getting lost in the shuffle. If he beats Cena, he'd go after Daniel Bryan, but that feels more like a step down from Cena. Yeah, see, that's the problem with WWE going with Cena and Rusev super duper early and also not really maximizing of what you could do with Rusev. I mean, if Rusev loses to like a Ryback, that doesn't hurt Rusev as much because Ryback and Rusev are both on the same level of the card and they're going to move up together with dispute. So that's why a Ryback taking on a Rusev makes so much more sense than a John Cena because John Cena's up here, people. Like, you can't even see where my hand is. That's how high John Cena is on the spectrum compared to Rusev, who's down here. And if Rusev beats John Cena, then yeah, he gets moved up very, very high on the card. But like you mentioned, are they really going to put the belt on Rusev over their boy Cockfist or Seth Rollins? Are they really, really that behind the Rusev character? Because I don't think they're behind Rusev whatsoever. I think they liked it for a while. I think during the summertime, that was when he was at his hottest. And I feel that's when they should have taken the advantage and had him do the John Cena feud. That's just my personal opinion. After John Cena got destroyed by Brock Lesnar, you send Rusev at him. It gives you an excuse why Cena lost to Rusev because Rusev took over a vulnerable and damaged John Cena after a huge match with Brock Lesnar. Would have made much more sense and you would have kept the heel heat on Rusev going. That's just me personally. But yeah, Rusev would get lost in the shuffle, even if he does lose or beat John Cena, because, like I said, John Cena being Rusev just makes Rusev not really that big of a star. Because John Cena, like I said, he's up here, Rusev's down here. John Cena beats him, Rusev gets knocked down a peg, you can't take him seriously. You're saying, look, he can't beat John Cena. If you can't beat John Cena, you can't be the guy of the company. That's just a bottom line fact when it comes down to it at the end of the day. You have to beat the guy to be the man. Like Ric Flair says, to be the man, you got to beat the man. If he never beats John Cena, he will never beat a man. So, it's just dumb. That's why Rusev and Ryback works better because, like I stated earlier, Rusev and Ryback are on the same level of the card and they can just help each other build up more and more throughout time goes on. Reed19 asks, what if Scott Steiner had returned at number 30 in the Royal Rumble and limited Reigns to win before yelling, give me the fucking mic and cutting the promo? How would you react and how would you think the crowd would react and what would Steiner say? You guys know my reaction. I'd be fucking marking out. The crowd would be marking out because they would appreciate that Scott Steiner is here to have a suplex battle with freaking Brock Lesnar. It'll be Royal Rumble 2003 times 10. It would just be a bunch of suplexes, a bunch of botch spots, and a bunch of Scott Steiner saying, fuck, during the matches. And what would Scott Steiner say? He'd be like, hey man, everybody wants to know where I've been. Well, you know what? I've been here in the back, and I just been hearing you people boo so much that I was sick and tired, so I beat up the Adolf Ziggler over there, and I freaking threw him out of the match, and then I went in the match, and then I went to the match, and then Bubba Ray's fat ass was backstage, and I call him a fat ass, because that's what he is, a fat ass, came out there, threw out the Rock, throughout and then he'll just like stumble on Roman Reigns' name for whatever fucking reason, but you get the idea. That would be the Scott Steiner promo, and it would be amazing. That's what Scott Steiner would say. Red Wolf 316 asks, do you think Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice will be good, even with some of the casting criticism it's gotten from fans? Oh yeah, I think it could still be a good movie. I don't think it's going to be bad. Like, to me, I don't really judge an actor on the character they're playing, especially in superhero movies, just based off one movie. You know, some actors, they nail it the first time. Like fucking Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, you're Wolverine forever. But some people, like Tobey Maguire, it took him a while before he became Peter Parker. I mean, like, he wasn't a perfect Peter Parker, but by Spider-Man 2, people are saying, man, this guy is Peter Parker. So, like, for me personally, it takes a while, you know, for, you know, me to really judge people playing superheroes. That's just me. You know, at first, I didn't really like Chris Evans as Captain America, but after, you know, Captain America Winter Soldier and rewatching Avengers, I said, you know what, this guy is Captain America. You know, because I got Chris Evans, you know, he's always played douchey characters. He's always played jackass assholes, like in Not Another Teen Movie. He was like the friggin' star of that movie, and he was a jackass. Human Torch. He played freaking Johnny Storm. That's like one of the douchiest Marvel characters. And you're trying to tell me this guy's Captain America, and he did a good job with it. So I'm, I think it could be a good movie. It all depends how much they try to force into here, because I get it, DC's trying to be all like, oh, fucking Justice League is coming, bitches, but I hope it's just not too clusterfucked. That's what's going to kill this movie more than the casting decisions, if it's too clusterfucked. Clarkson Lopez asks, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? Raphael, because he's always angry for no reason. I love it. I love Raphael. He's always just so angry. You know, he always freaking tells Leo how it is. He's always the rebel. He's like the one where it's just kind of like, you know, he gets shit done. He wants to get shit done, which kind of relates to my personality, because like, if you guys ever work with me or do anything with me, I always want to get shit done. I get really angry if like we're not getting our shit done. And then sometimes, like Raphael, I can lay back and have a good time and enjoy some pizza. So definitely Raphael is my favorite Ninja Turtle. Which is weird, because like I don't like red at all as a color, because you would think Leonardo is my favorite because blue is my favorite color, but not the case. Rebecca Olsen asks, what is it going to take for these IWC losers to really stop watching wrestling when they keep saying they want to stop but can't? No offense, Chase, I'm not trying to sound rude or anything, but I'm sick and tired of these people threatening to stop watching WWE, but we'll come back the next week. Oh, God. What will it take? I don't know. If you guys haven't noticed, I haven't been reviewing Raw, and there's a good reason, because I'm not watching Raw. Yeah. I watched one episode, I think, and it was really bad. And then later on, I said, you know what, I'm not going to watch Raw because I had schoolwork. And when I was reading the results of the Raw, I was saying to myself, holy crap, this felt like last week's episode. So I'm glad I missed it. And now tonight's Raw, I said the only reason why I'm going to watch is if Randy Orton was going to return, because Randy Orton's my boy and I've missed him in professional wrestling. So for me personally, what takes me to stop watching professional wrestling is if they're getting lazy and they're getting boring and they just feel stagnant and it feels like every episode's the same. That gets me to stop it, because I don't hate professional wrestling. I really don't. I really do love it. I really do enjoy the entertainment it gives me on a week in and week out basis. It's just sometimes I just need a break from it. I just need a break from the weekly shows. I can watch the pay-per-views just fine and know what's going on. I mean, I have people tweeting about it on my Twitter. You know, I have all the dirt sheets where I can read the results. You know, I'm not going to be far behind. But for me, what makes me really stop watching wrestling, Rebecca, is if they just don't try. And these past 3 Raws, I can honestly say they haven't tried. They haven't. Like, it's sad that at Fastlane, it seems like the only thing I'm interested in is Triple H talking to Sting. And yet, we've been getting Triple H promos for how many weeks, and he's saying the same shit that he's probably going to say to Sting. So even that right there is kind of diluted. But what would it take for these IWC losers to stop? They won't stop. They like to say they will stop watching WWE, but it's like a drug to them. They're like freaking people who are freaking smoking cigarettes. They say, oh, I can quit at any time, but they can't quit. They try for 1 week. They get the cravings. They start to freaking, you know, bite their lip a little bit, get chapstick, because then start holding it like a cigarette, and they start doing this with the chapstick. Oh, yeah, I know what it's like trying to quit stuff, people. I know what it's like to try to quit tobacco. So, you know, it's like smoking cigarettes for them. They can't put the pack down. They can't quit at this current moment in time. There's still some stuff that interests the IWC fans, as you like to call them, the IWC losers. I mean, there's still guys like Bray Wyatt that they like. There's still guys like Seth Rollins. There's still guys like Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan. So it's not like the IWC is going on a drought. If they didn't have those wrestlers, then that would make them stop. If they didn't have like the wrestlers I just named, that would make wrestling fans stop. All right. The Real Heel asks, have you read the Death of Wolverine issue? Yes, I have, man. And so disappointing. That's just my take on it. It's like, really? That's the way you kill off Wolverine? I mean, Wolverine has been killed off multiple times in the comic book universe, people. But this one was just such a lazy death. And I like what they were trying to do there. You know, Wolverine loses... You know, Wolverine is pretty much useless because, you know, his healing factor is dead. Like, that was cool. That was an interesting twist. I liked it. I said, oh, shit, that's that's really cool. But it just felt like the Death of Wolverine issue was kind of all over the place. You know, Wolverine still felt like he had his healing factor, even though he didn't. Like, you know, he was like, you know, they told him like, oh, don't use your adamantium claws all that much. And Wolverine, anytime he had to fight, was like, I don't give a fuck. So, I mean, I guess that made Wolverine much of a badass, but at the same time, it was kind of like, but they told you not to do it, but he's moving just fine. Why is this? You get what I'm saying. But it's a good read. Like, if you guys definitely want to read it, I suggest it. It's a good read. I'm just not a big fan of it. I'm just not a fan how he died. It was just kind of like, that's it? That's all you could do with Wolverine? That's kind of lame. Don't worry, he'll be back soon. You know, a new Wolverine movie's coming out, or X-Men's coming out soon, so he'll be back. Jay Walker asks, what if Rusev won the Royal Rumble next year instead of Daniel Bryan? Will people still bitch about it? If it's in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, then yeah. But if Rusev's booked better than Daniel Bryan, and you can give a good enough reason why Rusev should win over Daniel Bryan, I don't think fans would bitch about it. I think what made fans more pissed off about this Royal Rumble, which I can kind of understand, is that, you know, they didn't feel like Cockfist wasn't built up properly to win this Royal Rumble. So that's what I could see there, is that so many fans probably just didn't feel like he was built up correctly. If Cockfist got better TV build, then people would actually be okay with him winning the Royal Rumble. I think that's only like a minority of the IWC or the hardcore wrestling fans that think that. So if Rusev was booked better than Daniel Bryan, then absolutely he should win. Jake Loomis asks, will Triple H ever have a son? Nope. I hope not. Otherwise, we lose all our joke materials for God dog. The Gochi Man asks, what do you think of the WWF Royal Rumble for the Dreamcast? Honestly, man, never played it. Never used a Dreamcast in my life. Being real here, man. Matt Gochi asks, what's the most underrated wrestling ever? Underrated wrestling? Like, explain a little bit more, my friend. Underrated wrestling. What do you mean there? Like, underrated wrestling moves? Styles? I think Lucha's underrated. That's just my opinion on that. I don't think people give Lucha enough love. I think it's really cool. And it takes a lot of work to tell the stories there. Josh Chambers asks, have you ever watched the Smallville TV series? Yes, I have, sir. Yes, I have. I liked it. You know, for some reason, you know, if you look at Smallville, it gets bad reviews. But I liked it. I thought it was a good show. That's just me. So take it for what it's worth. Little Fish asks, what if Big Show had won the Royal Rumble? Little Fish, I'll tell you right now, if Big Show would have won the Royal Rumble, I would have stopped. I would have stopped watching wrestling. I would have come on YouTube and saying, yep, later guys, I'm done. Can't watch this garbage anymore. You're giving Big Show a Royal Rumble with Big Show, a dude that I was watching since I was 8 years old. If you would have told 8-year-old Chase, you would have came to the future, Little Fish. You'd be like, hi, Chase, I am Little Fish. And I'm going to be like, Little Fish, who are you? And they're like, you're going to make YouTube videos in the future, Chase. I'm going to be like, let's YouTube. And you're going to tell me, Chase, listen closely. Big Show will win the 2015 Royal Rumble. I would look at you and laugh my ass off thinking that Big Show's still going to be wrestling then. Oh, God, no. No. Don't even get me thinking about that, Little Fish. That's going to upset me. And Justin Side asked, to close off this Q&A, have you noticed that Kanye West only interrupts white people on awards shows? Is a racist? He must be, right? I bet if Beyonce was white, he wouldn't kiss her ass so much. I'm pretty sure Kanye's racist to white people. I mean, have you heard his songs? Like, it's like pretty much all these like, oh, I hate these people. They put my people in chains and stuff like that. So it wouldn't surprise me if Kanye West was a racist to white people. That's just me. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for sending in your questions for this week's edition of the Q&A. Remember, guys, the next Q&A is going to be my Iron Man Q&A. I'm going Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart on this Q&A. 60 minutes. That's right. I make long-ass Q&As. But I'm going to go fucking 60 minutes. I'm going to sit in this freaking rickety chair and freaking answer as many questions as you guys send me. I may regret this, and I am sorry if I cannot get to all your questions. We're going to have a 60-minute time limit, and I am trying to go through as much questions as I can possible. So, what you guys need to do is the usual. Tweet me, inbox me here on YouTube, as many questions as you want. There's no question limit for Q&A 100, baby. It's just a bunch of questions put into one video that's going to be 60 minutes long, and then I am going to be changing the Q&A format forever. So, let's get started. Send in your fucking questions. And you know what? If you guys are just too flippin' lazy and you guys don't want to send the questions via the inbox or Twitter, just this once, just this one time only, on this video only, comment down below all your damn questions. Let's get started. Let's have fun for Q&A 100. Hope you guys enjoyed Q&A 99. Let's get ready for Q&A 100. Iron Man, baby.